this is the very first figure comparison. In this corner, we have the NECA 1954 Godzilla. And in this corner, we have the old school timer, Bandai first Godzilla from 54. In this little comparison, we'll be going over sculpt, articulation, paint job, and accuracy. So, without further ado, let's get started. First, we're going to start with paint job. NECA 54 sports a white, gray, blue, and black paint job with subtle blue lines around the entire body. Mine is kind of scuffed, but that's my own problem. As you can see, this guy is incredibly has a lot of joints, and if you move a joint, it doesn't really show it that much. It doesn't really break up the sculpt that much. So that's something that's I'm really happy about. Right here, you can actually see there's an indent right here. Not too bad on this side, but right here bugs mostly of other people. And right here is a gap, but some people won't really mind since the 54 suit wasn't really that much of a bender anyways. Tell me, could the 54 suit bend this far down? I don't think so. Now, Bandai Creations. Bandai Creations Godzilla sports a white, gray, black, and red color scheme, and I'll tell you why red, because right in the mouth it's just red to make it more out of the 50s, I guess. His tail is consistently gray with the rest of his body, black pupils, and this is the only black on him, and the white is subtle gradations of the white, and there's white on the claws and the toenails, and not to mention the teeth and around the pupils. And oh yeah, I like this little shading right here and right here. I really like that. So yeah, there's not a whole lot to talk about in terms of paint, but I think they did a solid job. So in all paint jobness, I would have to say that the 54 wins this point because he has a little bit more variety, and not to mention the red on the 54's mouth just really bugs me for some reason. So yeah, +1 point to NECA 54. Round 2, sculpt. Both figures are very, very well sculpted, with the NECA having more detail with all the little details and scales on him, which I find really nice. And the blueness just makes it highlight. And not to mention, the fins are rubbery and really not that sharp, to be honest. But once you get down here, they're just solid plastic. I think once you get, yeah, these are just solid plastic. And then the entire thing is rubber over here. So yeah, if I drop this, I wouldn't have any problem with breaking it or anything. Except that I did have a problem with dropping a couple Godzilla figures, and they were this close to breaking. I'm not gonna lie. And overall, 54 sculpt is very accurate. I mean, small spikes, and he did actually have this long of a tail, to be honest. It's short, but it's long for the figure. Next, moving on to 54 by Bandai. His sculpt is a kind of mixed bag because he looks like other traits from other Godzillas. As you can see, the head sculpt, it sort of matches, but it's kind of missing that, the ears right here. I guess it's supposed to be, a little bigger on him. Movie accuracy, in my opinion, is much better than stylized. But if you're a stylized fan, let me know in the comments and say who's better. The white paint job there. Yeah, not paint job. And oh boy, I forgot to mention the thighs. Look at how big the thighs are. Wow. So, tail is, I'm not sure if it's like, I don't know how to make it size. Like, I normally put it like this, but then it looks weird. Maybe put it like this, but then it's off to the side. Like, there's no definitive way to put this tail straight. The closest thing I can get is this, to be honest. So, I can't really tell if this figure is, doing detail measurements, even though this is, like, doing detail measurements. I can't even tell, like, how long his tail is. Like, let's say from here to here. That'd be, I believe, the size of the figure itself, so. Yeah, pretty well. And another thing I forgot to mention, the 54 NECA may have more detail, but for the Bandai, it's kind of sculpted in a little more, I can tell, because, I can feel it. And not to mention, as you can see, this kind of cuts off with the articulation, which, speaking of next round, I personally cannot decide on this one because it all comes down to personal preference in the end. I mean, it's not the end of the video yet, but if you like stylized, I'd go with Bandai, but if you like accuracy, I'd go with 54. So it's a tie. 1.5 points to 0.5. Now going on with articulation. Both figures sport 2 ball joints. Sorry, no, not both figures. NECA sports 2 ball joints in the head. Hinged jaw. Ball joint at the shoulder. A double jointed elbow, which right there's a hinge. Inside there's a ball joint, because you can see there's like rocker movement. Ball joint in the wrists. Hinge at the fingers. A really incredible joint here at the waist. Seriously, you can get a lot of poses out of this guy. Like, I broke myself. This is on ball joints. You can move them in and out, swivel. He has hinged knees, and once again, same with the elbows. It's on ball joints, but I can really only get a swivel out of it. So, and the foot is on a ball joint, up and down, pivot, side to side, all that good stuff. And this is where the figure really exceeds. All the joints coming from here all the way to the base. Really nice fluid motion, and maybe a little too fluid. Or this is probably just my problem, because maybe I just might need a stand. And right here is something that all Godzilla figures should need. A bendy wire. I mean, why have SH Monsters waste all their money on ball joints while you can have a bendy wire with NECA? Hear that, Bandai? Get to work. Now, this is the part where I realize, why am I comparing these two in articulation? Like, there's clearly a winner, but so let's give this guy a chance. This guy can rotate his head all the way around. Not that you would want to. His hands go back about that far, forward about that far. Same with this arm. Back about that far, forward about that far. And do not try this, otherwise you might break the figure. The legs can go all the way around. And same with this. Oh my god, I have not spun this in a long time. Yeah, there we go. So, and it looks like they have a joint here, but it's not. And a joint right there. So, yeah. And the obvious winner is the NECA for this round. So this means on this episode of Figure Wars, the NECA 54 is the winner. And if you guys do not like my outcome, here's why. The NECA 54 exceeds in detail, paint, sculpt accuracy, and much more articulation, while the Bandai, it's good and all, but I mean, this guy has been around for many, many years, so. And it doesn't have that much paint aside from like gray covering the entire body, while this guy actually has some variety. Blue and black with the course of the main body, and a bit of gray actually. So yeah, that's all I have to say, but it all comes down to personal preference. Tell me in the comments, which one do you prefer, Bandai or NECA? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!